Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. I'm interested in just asking a few questions about the review of Commonwealth laws for compliance with traditional rights and freedoms, if you can just briefly outline what we know about that at this point, when, how it will roll out and the dates that are pertinent to that.
Certainly. That's the newest of our inquiries. We had our final terms of reference confirmed on the 14th of May, and we've embarked upon initial research, identified the staff who are going to be involved in the inquiry. Under the terms of reference, we will do the first stage with a consultation document coming out before the end of the year, and we anticipate that the discussion paper for the document will come out mid-next year. There'll be at least 3 rounds of consultation, 2 rounds of submissions, and the opportunity for much involvement. So that's how it's looking at the moment.
Thank you for that. Is there an amount that's been budgeted for that that process, that particular inquiry?
Not specifically. We take our briefs as they come and allocate staff within the complement that's available. So I've identified the team that is going to take it on in a staged process, complementing our other work that we're currently completing.
Just hearing your outline of proposed schedule of works for this, it sounds like it will be a thorough and quite a large inquiry. How does it compare to other inquiries in terms of the timelines and the envisaged workload for it?
It's quite a broad conceptual inquiry, which will be very interesting for us to undertake. The timetable is about 18 months to 2 years since initially conceived, which is appropriate for the broad nature of the brief. It will require quite a detailed period of what I would describe as basic research. It is broad sweeping, but we've readily deployed in. We've developed considerable expertise in our processes. So we're completing the disability inquiry at the moment, which has a fairly broad approach to it. The age barriers inquiry, the 2 family violence inquiries all had a large overlooking process, rather than just, for instance, like the copyright law and the privacy ones are more focused on particular areas. Its broad brief makes it very interesting, but also amenable to a slightly longer time frame than some of the other ones that are normally discharged in about 12 months.
Thank you. And so in terms of the funding and the resources available for this review, I'm understanding that there was no extra specific funding made available in the budget for this particular review, that it's just subsumed under the rest of the work.
It's part of our regular workload.
In the Commission.
Yes, we have discussions at appropriate times about our future work plans, how long that's going to take, and those questions are obviously adjusted depending on the staff available, the time frame for the inquiry. They're the sorts of questions one would have as preliminary matters, and we've had those conversations with this one too.
Yes, and how are decisions made about about particular reviews that are undertaken? In this case, I understand, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that this was a referral by the Attorney General. But in other cases, does the Commission have autonomy to come up with its own reviews and inquiries, or is it always something that needs to be signed off by the government of the day? I'm not quite sure how the process works.
Senator, I'm very happy to provide response to that question. The distinction is between how we receive our terms of reference and how we act. We act as an independent agency, but that operates in terms of reference are given to us by the Attorney General of the day, and then after that we act independently with our established processes. We're coming up to our 40-year anniversary next year, so we've established quite a good track record of doing it.
Proud history, I'd say.
Yes, but the terms of reference are entirely a matter for government. As you would expect, the President, the Commissioners are involved in consultation, in our advice is sought as to what might be appropriate projects for reform. Those conversations are held regularly when we're completing a major piece of work, or one would hope during the course of that work, so that appropriately crafted terms of reference can be worked out in advance. But the decision as to the projects we undertake are entirely a matter for the Attorney General of the day.
Thank you. And in terms of the budget, your budget, and there's obviously a lot of background work, but the frontline work, if I can use that phrase, it's used frequently at the moment, is indeed the conduct of reviews and reports from those. Do you report in any form that's available publicly about the cost of particular reviews?
We have an annual report which provides detail about our budget, but we don't do that kind of micro-analysis in terms of how much you can say is allocated to this inquiry or that, because the whole commission is engaged in the inquiries all the time. So it's not a really fruitful exercise to do that. The main thing is to ensure that the appropriate time and the appropriate staff are available to do the projected work that the Attorney of the Day would like us to do.
All right, thank you very much. They're my questions, Chair.
Okay. Anyone else with the Law Reform Commission? No? Well, thank you very much, Professor Croucher, and for your team. And
thank you, Chair.
See you next time.
Thank you.
I now call Officer